Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Breaking news.
Welcome to this special edition of Action News Now and our breaking news coverage of the Park Fire. Let's get straight to what's happening this morning. Overnight, the Park Fire grew significantly to 307,000 acres, and there's still no containment. The fire has been advancing quickly overnight to the north in Tehama County, growing 4,000 to 5,000 acres each and every hour. This morning, it's burning around Paynes Creek. The northern edge of the fire is just south of Manton. What you're looking at is time-lapse video from overnight. The Alert California camera in Paynes Creek on Inskip Hill, looking to the north. North to south, this fire now measures 42 miles in size, and from east to west, it measures 18 miles. At 307,000 acres, it is now ranked as the 8th largest wildfire in California history, bigger than both the Carr and Camp fires. We have team coverage of the Park Fire. Reporter Camille Acevedo is live in Tehama County. We'll check in with her about the fire spread in a moment. We begin with Court Klopping this morning, tracking the weather conditions. And Court, what are you seeing out there this morning? The first thing I noticed, dramatically cooler this morning.
Substantially cooler, yes. And this is a double-edged sword here because one, I think everyone's happy to see the cooler temperatures heading in this morning. But the source of that cooling was that enhanced onshore flow, which brought in stronger south winds last night into this morning that did help to promote that growth of the fire to the north last night. And that is one of the reasons why we saw such a substantial rate of spread specifically in the northward direction of this fire. So that's the main concern, is that how strong those winds were late last night. They've diminished a bit into this morning, but they're still not as light as we'd like them to see. But we've got some other positive news as well, and that's with more humidity recovery overnight. So the air isn't quite as dry, and that is helpful as well. So a live look outside right now. This is from the East Los Molinos camera, and I do want to show you the time lapse here. So bear with me for a second here, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to minimize this for just a moment so I can show you where this camera is located. You can see it is northeast of Los Molinos in the foothills of Tehama County. I'm going to go ahead and full screen this again, and then I want to show you what it looks like over the last 3 hours, because right now it's a little tough to see that there is activity there, but you could see a lot of active fire conditions in this area looking to the north in the Tehama County foothills overnight and early on this morning. Now, as the sun comes up, it gets a little tougher to see those flames, and that smoke is going to start to rise more than what we've seen overnight. It's mostly been closer to ground level. As we head through the day today, we do have some improvements. And again, the biggest difference today and the biggest positive note that you can take away this morning is that humidity has recovered much better overnight into this morning. Remember, the last couple of mornings, it's been hovering between around 20 to 40% for the humidity values in the early morning hours. We're right now 72% for Chico. The humidity in green, I'm going to point out right here as well, 67% for Red Bluff, 51% for Redding. So humidity recovering better overnight. Winds have finally diminished quite a bit, but they're still up to 10 miles an hour out of the south and east. Now onto the growth of this fire. 3 a.m. Thursday, extending from the northeastern side of Chico up into Tehama County. It was almost equal in northern zones to Los Molinos, but still well to the east. In the 24 hours following that, the fire grew well to the north, and it did grow to the west and east as well in those northern zones, and to the southeast. It was equal to Red Bluff as far as how far north it was. And the latest update, 307,369 acres. The hot spots now closing in on the Tehama and Shasta County border, and almost all of the growth here and activity over the last 12 hours, Kelly, has been in these northern zones. And again, this has been exacerbated by those stronger south winds that we saw kicking in late last night. So we were talking about this all morning yesterday, worried about those south winds kicking in. As we move forward, the winds are not as substantial, and I do want to show you what's going on today. 10-mile-an-hour winds out of the south this morning, modestly stronger than that at noon today, and then getting a bit stronger towards the afternoon with those breezy southeast winds before they diminish overnight tonight. And then there is a little bit of a shift as well. North winds in the area around the Park Fire. Now, the reason why that could be good news is that those areas that are actively burning, that fire may be pushed back into areas that have already burned, so fuels are not as abundant because they've already been spent in those areas. I'm going to continue to track the latest conditions on the Park Fire throughout this morning. I'll also have an update on what you need to know to take on that Saturday coming up in a few minutes.
All right, thanks. We'll check back in a few minutes, Court. Overnight, the Park Fire made a dramatic move to the north in Tehama County. Reporter Camille Acevedo is live along Highway 36, just west of Paynes Creek. Camille, what can you tell us about what you're seeing there this morning?
Right, Kelly. I mean, you could just take a look at what's behind me. You could take a look at all that smoke. I'll get behind the camera in just a moment. I am here off of State Highway 36 East. I'm right before Paynes Creek. And I mean, it's very devastating to see. I'm going to get behind the camera to show you really quick. You can see all the smoke that's right behind me, and that is just in one part. I'm going to zoom in so you could take a closer look. Take a look at all that smoke. It's absolutely devastating. And zoom on out and take the camera a little bit closer. You could see smoke coming out of the areas where there's still trees and everything. And so we know that it is super windy up here where I'm standing, again, here in Tehama County off of State Highway 36 East. Now, I do plan to go out to Paynes Creek, the community out there, to see what is happening. Highway Patrol has stopped entrance from coming up of here because, again, it's very dangerous out here. I could smell the smoke, and it is just not a great view. As I was driving up here, I saw so many people in their campers and their trailers parked probably like 30 minutes away from here. It's just such a devastating sight, and I'm going to continue to work to bring you more information back to you at the station. Live here in Tehama County, I'm Camille Acevedo for Action News Now.
Okay, Camille, and can you see any flames off to the north? Any indication how far the fire has moved?
You know, I know that the fire continues to move up north, but I do not see any flames from where I'm standing. I see a lot of smoke. Again, I'm going to go up there to Paynes Creek, so I will keep you updated on what I do see.
Okay. Camille, thanks for being there for us. And Highway 36 is closed just east of Red Bluff, where Camille is, and one of many roads now closed due to the massive Park Fire. At the CAL FIRE briefing yesterday afternoon, CAL FIRE experts talked about just how fast this fire was moving. Jeremy Pierce from CAL FIRE described how the fire was outpacing the firefighters.
Moving at quite a rapid pace, and we've got a good column that's built, and it's spotting quite ahead of itself, and it's moved all the way up to Hogback Ridge Road, Fire Road, and it's getting ready to cross that, which is quite a ways out from where this fire line currently exists. It's up in this section right now. So it's going to push that line very hard. Crews are trying to find access into it to slow it down, but it's outpacing our aircraft. It's running through our fire retardant lines, and helicopters are having a tough time getting in due to the smoke column and the heat and the enormous amount of energy that this fire is putting out at the head of that fire.
Now, we should mention the CAL FIRE morning briefing is scheduled for right now at the Silver Dollar Fairgrounds in Chico. Action News Now is at the fairgrounds streaming that briefing. We should be streaming it on our Facebook page. We're going to pass along updated information as we learn it. We want to show you the latest evacuation maps for Butte, Tehama, and Shasta and Plumas counties. We begin with Butte County. There are 27 zones in Butte County under evacuation orders. Yesterday, areas like Butte Meadows were ordered to evacuate. An evacuation warning has been issued for the entire town of Paradise. That's an evacuation warning for Paradise, not an order. The evacuation zones stretch further north in Tehama and Shasta County, stretching to the east into Plumas County. Here's the latest evacuations for those counties: Tehama, Shasta, and Plumas counties. Those are the lightly shaded areas. The fire perimeter is that dark red blob. That is the fire perimeter as of last check. It may have grown larger by now. Now, the evacuation orders extend north into Shasta County all the way to Highway 44. A large portion of western Plumas County between Lake Almanor and the county line is also under an evacuation warning. If you're in an area where you need or want to evacuate right now, there are two places you can find shelter in Butte County. There's still space at Neighborhood Church of Chico on Notre Dame Boulevard, and they've also opened up the Butte County Fairgrounds in Gridley. Both those centers have resources open to any and all evacuees. Now, if you're evacuating in Tehama or Shasta counties, there are several centers open there. There's one at Bella Vista Elementary School, the Las Molinas Veterans Hall on Sherwood Boulevard, and today there will be a resource center open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Red Bluff's St. Peter's Episcopal Church. Yesterday afternoon, evacuation orders were issued for the Butte Meadows community just east of Forest Ranch along Highway 32. We spoke to former Chico Police Chief Mike Maloney, who lives in Butte Meadows. He's actively monitoring information from law enforcement and fire agencies, and he told me that he's telling his neighbors to leave now.
Well, I want people to know that, you know, we of course have the sad record of the Camp Fire. And then 2 years ago, we had the Dixie Fire. And if you look at the maps that are out there and where Forest Ranch and Butte Meadows and Jonesville fall in relation to those areas, this is an area that's ripe for burning. So, you know, unlike times in the past where we may have dug in our heels and remained, this is not a time to play around. You know, property is property. It can be replaced. And although it's hard to leave your home behind and your belongings, this is a time where we have to focus on what's important, and that is lives.
We should mention Maloney. He lives there near the Bambi Inn in Butte Meadows. He evacuated yesterday afternoon and continues to monitor the fire from Chico. And we are keeping a very close eye on the weather conditions this Saturday morning at the Park Fire. Court Klopping has a look at what to expect as we feel those cooler temperatures. But when I stepped outside this morning, I also felt those very gusty winds. Yeah, and the good news is, Kelly, is that those winds are starting to diminish substantially compared to what firefighters were contending with late last night that really drove that northward progression of the fire into this morning. So it's continued to be that south or southeast to north or northwest flow from the winds fanning flames to the north or northwest overnight into this morning. But we've also seen some growth on that fire to the east on the northern zones as well. So a lot going on out there, and our fuels very dry, primed to ignite and causing the biggest issue that we're seeing overall for today as we move forward, as the other conditions, the wind and humidity, are improving. Now, as far as what we're seeing outside this morning, here is a live look from the Inks Ridge camera. This is located to the east of Lake California in the northeastern side of the valley in Tehama County. And I want to show you the 3-hour time lapse here because it gives you a better idea of what people are seeing in this area right now as they look to the east. You can see that fire activity extremely active overnight into this morning. It's tougher to see once the sun rises and the sun hits that smoke, so it makes it a lot harder to see that. But you can see on the east side of the valley, the smoke a major factor. Much cooler today, lighter winds and higher humidity. So all three of these are positive news for fire danger. The problem is that it's still very dry for our fuels, and then we will see a modest warming trend moving forward. Today, temperatures starting out 50s to 60s in the valley, 50s in the foothills, and we're mostly in the 50s in our mountain zone. So a nice drop in temperatures in the overnight hours into early on this morning. That helps that moisture in the air mass settle down further to ground level. So that's good news here. 5 degrees cooler for Redding, 14 degrees cooler for Chico, 10 degrees cooler for Red Bluff. So we are seeing that condition improve. Now, winds right now sustained out of the south or southeast to around 9 miles an hour in areas around the fire. South of the fire, those winds are east to west. So we're very happy that areas around the fire are still seeing that same flow, and it's not east to west because that could fan flames closer to more populated areas. Throughout the morning, winds not too strong, picking up slightly by noon today, and then we do get breezy this afternoon with 15 to 20 mile an hour gusts out of the south in the areas around the fire. Late tonight, we're seeing the same winds as what we're seeing this afternoon, and then those winds diminish overnight, and we'll actually see a little bit of a shift to north winds as they become lighter overnight. And again, I mentioned this a couple minutes ago, but why that shift could be positive is that it could fan flames back into areas that have already burned, where the fuels have already been spent, and that could be helpful. It'll keep the fire from progressing into areas that have not already burned, where the fuels are more abundant. Humidity recovering fairly well overnight compared to the last several days, especially. 51% for Redding, 67% for Red Bluff, 72% for Chico. Remember, the last couple of days, the top of humidity that we've seen for the day in the early morning hours has been around 43 to 45% in some areas. So that is much improved compared to the last few days. We also have some moisture actually being transported to the north right now from the cool system that's bringing the substantial drop in temperatures. But it's still going to be sunshine for most of us throughout the day. Again, the exception there is the smoke. So sunny skies as far as the clouds go, but the smoke's going to be a bigger factor today, especially in the valley. And get a look at this, your futurecast showing you smoke billowing to the north and northwest early on today, settling into the northern zones of the valley. By this afternoon, we're starting to see bigger air quality impacts in Butte and Glenn County areas as well. And then we do see that
continuing into late tonight. So air quality is going to be extremely poor. Even though temperatures are cooling down, you probably don't want to open up those windows. Just leave the AC on. You may even need to change your filter over the next couple of days because this is going to be substantial for the air quality impacts. Temperatures today, a substantial drop. We've been in the triple digits so far this week for the valley. It's 80s to low 90s this afternoon, 70s to 80s in the foothills and mountains. Great news there. And moving forward, Kelly, temperatures back on the rise, but it's a slow climb over the next few days with overnight lows still in the 60s, highs low to mid 90s Sunday through Tuesday, then back to the 90s to lower triple digits from Wednesday through the end of next week. So we are seeing another warming trend ahead, but these conditions are much improved compared to the last several days for both fire danger as well as comfort level outside. I'm going to be continuing to track the latest conditions on the Park Fire, where we've seen that growth overnight. And in just a couple of minutes, Kelly, I'm breaking down the latest on the fire perimeter, as well as where you can get to know your evacuation zones if you haven't figured that out just yet.
Okay, thank you, Court. And we should remind you, we are streaming the CAL FIRE briefing on the Action News Now Facebook page. We just got some updated information that I've been handed. The fire burned 150,000 acres just yesterday. It has burned north of Highway 36, and they are now doing structure protection in the community of Manton. Now, more details are coming in. If you would like to watch that briefing, again, we have it streaming on the Action News Now Facebook page, or you can stay with us on the air and then go back and watch that fire briefing after today's newscast. It will be there for you to review throughout the day. You can watch that CAL FIRE briefing in its entirety so you don't miss a single detail. And we are getting started in this special edition of Action News Now as we continue our breaking news coverage of the Park Fire and its dramatic growth to the north this morning.
Get more for less with Nissan's epic offering of 6 2024 models starting under $30K. Like the award-winning Sentra, the best-selling Rogue, and the all-electric Leaf. All boasting an EPA-estimated 32 mpg on the highway or better. Visit your local Nissan dealer to check out the affordable lineup of Nissan vehicles today.
Get 0% APR financing for 36 months or get $1,250 customer cash back on the 2024 Nissan Rogue Platinum.
When you need to relax and recharge your body and mind, retreat to the comfort of stressless furniture at Fines Design and Decor. Designed to harmonize with the natural movements of your body, it's where true comfort begins and every day should end. Get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 spent and $200 off 4 dining chairs at Fines Design and Decor, 1341 Mangrove between 3rd and 5th Avenues in Chico.
For babies like mine that were in the hospital NICU.
I march for moms who struggled during their pregnancy journey.
I march to support parents who have experienced miscarriage and loss.
I march for every family to have access to health care.
Join us to ensure that every mom and baby is healthy and strong. If we come together, we can work to improve maternal health.
Protect every family through programs, research, education, and advocacy.
Let's take action.
Join March for Babies, a mother of a movement.
Reading Rancheria, proud to play our part.
Hot tub, hot tub, hot tub. Major manufacturers and warehouses clearance of new 2024 inventory. Today and tomorrow. Silver Dollar Fairgrounds Chico. Over 100 hot tubs on display and everything must go. New 2024 inventory. Hot tubs starting at $29.95. All inventory 40 to 80% off. Come see the revolutionary swim spa in action and save up to 60%. Trade-ins welcome. Free delivery. We'll even haul away your old hot tub. Worry-free installation. 18-month interest-free financing. Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold. Silver Dollar Fairgrounds Chico. Free admission. Free parking. Call 833-SPA-SALE.
Welcome to our breaking news coverage of the Park Fire. We want to show you exactly where the fire has burned, where it's grown, by taking a close look at the latest fire perimeter map. And Court is at the Weather Center. And Court, what are you seeing in terms of where the fire has grown?
Well, we've seen the primary growth of this fire in the last 12 hours in the northern zones. So what we've seen is yesterday morning, the fire was just to the east of Red Bluff as far as the furthest northern zone. Now that fire has eclipsed Highway 36 in northeastern Tehama County around the valley. It's extended to the east a bit as well and to the north and west. So I do want to show you this because this does include the latest fire perimeters as well as the previous fire perimeters. So you can see where the fire started in northeastern Chico and Butte County in the upper Bidwell Park area, growing to the north Wednesday night into early Thursday morning, spreading further north and then spreading to the east and west overnight from Thursday into Friday, and then now extending close to the Shasta County border. And again, with the winds really whipping up out of the south to north overnight, that's why we saw all of that growth. So I want to go ahead and zoom in here and show you the northern perimeters. And again, this latest lighter orange that you're seeing here at the top of the map, this is showing you the latest activity and growth that we've seen. And this has eclipsed Highway 36 in areas around Paynes Creek. You can see just to the south of this, we've got the Deer Creek Preserve right here to the west of the fire. This is close around, let me see here. Hold on, let me grab my notes for a second because I did map this out just a few minutes ago. Right now, 9 miles to the east of Los Molinos, 12 miles to the east of Red Bluff. So again, this is not making headway to the west towards the more populated areas. The primary growth has been to the north. And again, you can see it did eclipse Highway 36 in the northern zones. On the eastern zones of the fire, it is getting a little closer to Highway 32 north of the Lomo area. You can see Butte Meadows here on this map. That is where we're seeing the primary impacts for fire this morning. And again, it has not been as big of an issue on these southern zones in Butte County overnight into this morning, with the exception of the areas north of Paradise. So that's where we've seen it becoming a bit more active overnight into this morning. Now on to the latest activity I've been tracking for you. And I do want to stress really quickly that a lot of this is preliminary raw data that we're seeing outside of the established fire perimeter. But you can see here on Fire Mappers, we do have a lot of these hotspots that are popping up outside of the established fire perimeter on the northeastern zones, northwestern zones as well, and along the eastern side of the fire. So again, that is where we've seen more of the recent data. And I'm going to zoom out really quickly here just so I can illustrate where most of this growth has been in the overnight hours into this morning. And you can see, again, this has not become part of the established fire perimeter yet, but these are the areas where the new hotspots are popping up outside of the fire perimeter. So again, mostly on the northern zones. That's what we're seeing. Now on to where you can find your evacuation zones if you haven't yet. Head to actionnewsnow.com. You can click on the news tab right here at the top left of your screen. From there, just below, you're going to be seeing the news links tab on the right side. When you click on that, it'll take you to our news links, and then you can find your evacuation zones for Butte County, Tehama counties, and Shasta counties all there. So if you don't know your zone yet, we've made it very easy for you. Just head to actionnewsnow.com, click on the news tab, the news links tab, and from there, you'll be able to find your county's evacuation zone maps.
So many things changing so quickly. Thanks for the update, Court, giving people an idea of where to look for that important life-saving information.
Of course.
Okay, here's a live look over the Park Fire in Tehama County. We're continuing with this special Saturday edition of Action News Now as we cover the Park Fire.
Download Action News Now on your mobile device. Breaking news, top local stories, live storm tracker radar, and streaming newscasts. Brought to you by Evans Furniture.
No. Rolling Hills Casino and Resort. Nobody does it better. Nobody can do golf. One of Northern California's most amazing golf experiences. The Links at Rolling Hills provides golfers with all abilities with a challenging and rewarding day of pure golf. And with green fees that include your cart, you simply won't find a better golf value anywhere. Nobody does golf better than Rolling Hills Casino and Resort.
isolated and lonely can be harmful to your health, resulting in high blood pressure, a greater risk of heart disease, and early onset dementia. So it's important to build and maintain social connections. Try a new hobby, volunteer, exercise, or use your phone or other device to stay in touch. Visit connecttoeffect.org to find resources and ways to stay connected. Presented by AARP Foundation with support from United Healthcare.
Welcome back. We're monitoring the CAL FIRE briefing that's underway at the Silver Dollar Fairgrounds. You can watch it in its entirety on our Facebook page. Here are some of the highlights that have been passed along to me. It says in the Manton area, the fire held up on the ridge. Manton is still threatened. Mineral is expected to be impacted, and structure protection work continues today, in particular in that Manton area. They've got many helicopters, 12 from Chico, 11 from Red Bluff, fighting this fire. We saw the aircraft dropping retardant as well. They were saying yesterday the fire was burning through retardant lines. So actively moving to the north. We're still waiting an update on the acreage because we have not received an update beyond that 307,000 acre size. But how are you seeing the weather affecting the firefight today?
Well, we've seen last night, and we were talking about this yesterday morning quite a bit. In the morning hours, the winds were stronger than we would have liked to have seen because normally we do see that drop off in the overnight hours as it cools down and the air mass becomes a little heavier. It makes it a little tougher for those winds to become more substantial. Yesterday morning, the winds stayed relatively strong for the time of day, and we were really concerned about those stronger winds last night. The potential for gusts in the 35-mile-an-hour range out of the south or southeast. That is what we saw, and it promoted that rapid fire growth to the north because it was really fanning those flames quite a bit. Now, overnight into this morning, those winds have diminished substantially, and the best news of all, as far as the fire danger goes, is that humidity values have really recovered quite a bit better. So that means that the moisture content in the air is higher than it was yesterday. That makes it a little tougher for fires to start and spread, and that's positive news as well. And I want to show you this time lapse. This is from the Inks Ridge camera. This is located on the eastern edge of the valley in Tama County, heading up into the Tama County foothills. And I'm going to go ahead and show you the last 6-hour time lapse here because it's going to show you how active conditions were in the overnight hours. I know this is probably tough for some of you to watch and see because of the history that we've faced here together in Northern California, but nonetheless, this is what's been going on in the overnight hours into early on this morning. And now that the sun's coming up, you can see the smoke becoming more substantial, and we're not seeing those flames as clearly. Now, the latest conditions around the fire actively burning right now. And again, starting in northern Butte County, extending north into Tehama County, now closing in on the Shasta County border. So it's been growing to the north. It's not in Shasta County. I do want to stress that, but it is getting a lot closer. Humidity, 67% for Red Bluff, 68% for Chico, 51% for Redding. So again, the green indicating humidity values. The white numbers indicating the wind speed. And then you can also see the flow of the winds, where they're coming from with these directional arrows. So out of the southeast to 13 miles an hour in Chico, lighter in Red Bluff right now, around 5 miles an hour out of the south to the east, where the fire is actively burning. And then as you head up towards the Redding area, we're starting to see more of an east to west flow of those winds. But again, the fire is mostly, or is, south of the Shasta County border right now. So getting a look at the climb and acreage over the last few days, 45,000 acres and change Wednesday or Thursday morning. Friday morning, we saw that over 164,000 acres growing further to the north, equal to the northern zone of Red Bluff, but still well to the east. And then overnight into this morning, the growth I've been tracking for you has been in these northern zones. That's where we've seen most of the fire growth. And the best news of all for areas of Tehama and Butte County zones is that a lot of the hotspot data for the last couple of days is becoming more dated. The orange means there hasn't been a hotspot there in 12 or more hours. The yellow means there hasn't been a hotspot indicated by satellite in more than 24 hours. So again, that's where the activity is not as substantial, but those northern zones are very active, and that's where all the growth has been. And with winds staying light this morning, that's good news. Picking up a little bit through the day, that's going to be a concern later on this afternoon, but the winds will not end up as bad as they have over the last few days. Kelly, I'm going to stay on top of this for you, bringing you the latest. I'm about to get an uploaded map with the latest hotspot data as well, updated in the last half an hour, and I'll be tracking if there's any growth throughout this morning.
Thanks, Court. And fire season well underway. If you don't know your evacuation zone, we can help. Head to our website, actionnewsnow.com, and click on news links to find all of our area's evacuation maps in one place. Overnight, the fire made a dramatic move to the north in Tehama County. Reporter Camille Acevedo is live in Tehama County this morning. Camille, I understand you may have changed locations. Where are you at right now?
Right, Kelly. So I am here just in Tehama County, just off of State Highway 36 East. I did move up a little bit as I'm heading into Paynes Creek. I wanted to stop to show you that this is, as you're entering, going more up north up the highway, you can see this is as if you're going to go into Paynes Creek. You could see that there are active flames here already. I'm going to get behind the camera. I'm going to zoom in so you could see. I mean, it's just progressing, and there's vehicles coming through. A lot of them first responders. I know that the road down there is blocked off. I know that the road down there is blocked off, but you could see that, I mean, this is such a terrible sight. I'm going to zoom in so you can see some of those flames. There are vehicles. And you could see all of those, again, active flames. You could see the smoke on every direction. You could even see closer to the highway right there as well. And then again, this fire is moving up north. And I mean, the smoke is really bad up here. The streets are blocked off. And I will continue to bring you more information as soon as I will continue to work with CAL FIRE to bring you more information. Live here in Tehama County, I'm Camille Acevedo for Action News Now.
All right, Camille, thanks for that update. And we continue to bring you live coverage of the Park Fire, getting you new information about the fire spread into Tehama County. Coming up, all the evacuation shelters that are now open as people continue to flee the fire.
You're watching Action News Now on CBS 12. Coverage you can count on.
Get more for less with Nissan's epic offering of 6 2024 models starting under $30K. Like the award-winning Sentra, the best-selling Rogue, and the all-electric Leaf. All boasting an EPA-estimated 32 mpg on the highway or better. Visit your local Nissan dealer to check out the affordable lineup of Nissan vehicles today.
Get 0% APR financing for 36 months or get $12.50 customer cash back on the 2024 Nissan Rogue Platinum.
These were my great-grandpappy's glasses. And now they're yours, son.
Why can't I just get my own?
What? No, these have at least a few hundred years left in them.
I think the kid needs his own. Get 2 pairs of glasses and a free eye exam for $79, all same day.
Yeah, I want my own.
Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
Attention, Island friends. This is a Parrot Service announcement. A manta ray mayday. A turtle alert. Bottlenose news flash. They're in trouble, and so is their world. But there's hope, and you can help. Our mission at the Blue Project Foundation is to rescue and save thousands of endangered animals. One of the ways is by caring for coral reefs, a vital and unique part of our oceans and our entire ecosystem. The beautiful and intricate structure provides shelter and support to a wide variety of marine life. Find out how you can help save these majestic animals and protect their rightful place on our planet. And join us in taking big steps and baby steps to protect our oceans. Because for them, home is where the ocean is. Learn more at blueprojectatlantis.org.
Covering Northern California. You're watching Action News Now. Breaking news.
Welcome to our special edition of Action News Now and our breaking news coverage of the Park Fire. Let's get straight to what's happening this morning. Overnight, the fire grew to 307,000 acres, and there's still no containment. We're waiting for an update on that acreage because it may have grown even larger than that, but that's our latest number. The fire has been advancing quickly overnight to the north in Tehama County, growing 4,000 to 5,000 acres per hour. It's burned around Paynes Creek. The northern edge is just south of Manton. Here's a look at the Alert California camera in Paynes Creek on Inskip Hill. The latest CAL FIRE map shows north to south, this fire now measures 42 miles, and from east to west, it measures 18 miles. At 307,000 acres, it is now ranked as the 8th largest wildfire in California history, bigger than both the Carr and the Camp fires. And Court is here with a first look at our fire weather this morning. So how is the weather today different than what we saw yesterday?
Well, the good news is humidity is recovering very well overnight into this morning, especially when you compare what we've dealt with over the last couple of mornings, and it has stayed very dry overnight. That's not the case this morning. Winds have diminished over the last couple of hours, but they're still stronger than what we want to see. But again, compared to late last night, this is a huge improvement as well because they were very gusty, and temperatures are dropping as well, which does help the air settle down a little further, and that also helps with the humidity values. So checking in with what I'm tracking for you this morning, here is the live look from the Pine Creek camera. This is located, if you drew a line directly to the north from Chico and a line directly to the east from Los Molinos, and those lines intersected, this is where you would find this camera. I'm going to go ahead and actually show you exactly where this is right now. You can see this is, again, to the north of Chico, to the east of Los Molinos. I'm going to go ahead and full screen this again, and then I do want to show you the time lapse of this from the last 3 hours so you can get an idea of how active conditions have been. You can see in this area that was mostly burned out over the last couple of days. So we're not seeing any new activity here, but again, a lot going on to the north on the eastern zones of Tehama County from the far east side of the valley into the foothills. That's what we're seeing overnight into this morning. And the latest on the conditions out there, I'm continuing to track the winds that are getting a little stronger in Chico specifically, but dropping off a bit as you move to the north. The flow is southeast or south to north early on this morning, so that's where flames have been fanned. Humidity in green, 51% for Redding, 67% for Red Bluff, 68% for Chico. This is a substantial rise compared to the last few days. And again, you can see those wind speeds not as bad as they were late last night when we had those gusts in the 25 to 35 mile an hour range. The growth on this fire, again, 45,000 acres and change early Thursday morning, over 164,000 acres yesterday morning, now growing to more than 307,000 acres. We haven't had an update on the acreage in the last couple of hours, but this is where we've seen all of the growth overnight. It's mostly been in the northern zones. We've seen a little bit of growth to the east over the last 12 hours as well, along areas close to Highway 32 between the Butte and Glenn County, or Butte and Tehama County borders, that is. Now moving forward through the day, the winds not too bad early on this morning, similar at noon, and then we do see those winds picking up for the afternoon and evening hours, staying in that 15 to 20 mile an hour gust range late tonight, and then dropping off again tomorrow morning, and a little shift as well, north to south winds early tomorrow morning. And the reason why this could be positive news is those more active areas along the northern zones of the fire, that's where flames could be fanned back into areas that have already burned, so fuels would be very limited there. Instead of moving the fire into areas that have not burned where fuels are abundant, this could be positive news. It could help firefighters establish better lines and more containment. 80s to low 90s for the valley today, winds gusting up to 20 miles an hour out of the southeast, and humidity, this is some of the best news of all, 20 to 35%, so staying higher today. All around, fire danger conditions are moderate, but because our fuels are so dry, that's still a huge concern for us. Kelly, coming up in a few minutes, all of your full forecast on what you need to know if you're trying to take on that Saturday, and some big air quality impacts projected for the day as well.
Thanks, Court. The fire continues to move to the north in Tehama County towards Shasta County. Action News Now reporter Camille Acevedo is live just west of Paynes Creek. Camille, what have you learned about that fire's movement this morning?
Right, Kelly. I mean, this fire, it just continues to move up north. I am here off of Highway 36 East, as if you're approaching Paynes Creek. Again, this fire just continues to move up north, and these winds are just strong out here, and it's very smoky. I'm going to get behind the camera so you could see what is behind me. You could see that vehicle driving into further up the road off of the highway here, and they're driving into all that smoke. Now, I have some active flames around here. You could see those, and then you could see there's just some hot spots in the area. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you could see that in the distance right there. Again, this is as if you're driving up north into Paynes Creek off of State Highway 36. You could see that there's flames even close to the road right there and all that smoke. I'm going to zoom on out. And then I do want to mention that Highway Patrol has blocked off State Highway 36 East to come up here. The only people allowed are first responders and then fire personnel crew as well. Back to you at the station, live here in Tehama County. I'm Camille Acevedo for Action News Now.
Thanks, Camille, for that update. Now, we did check in at the evacuation shelter in Chico to see how many people are staying there. There are about 36 people staying at the neighborhood church on Notre Dame Boulevard. Several of the evacuees are from the campfire. We talked to a husband and wife from Magalia who left Magalia as soon as they heard they were under an evacuation warning. They did not wait for an evacuation order. And the husband, Steve, he had some advice for other people in the fire's path.
And I'd like to add that if there's a warning, don't wait till the last minute. Or even if you're not leaving right now, make sure there's fuel in your vehicles, because people go to into an evacuation notice and find out they don't have fuel, they don't have this, they don't have that. You have to be prepared. Prepare your vehicle with the stuff you're going to need so you can get out of there fast.
You know, Steve knows what he's talking about. He and his wife had to flee from the campfire 6 years ago. They also say they found a steady stream of people driving out of Paradise down the Skyway. If you're in an area where you need to evacuate, there are 2 places where you can find shelter in Butte County. There's still space at Neighborhood Church of Chico on Notre Dame Boulevard, and they've also opened the Butte County Fairgrounds in Gridley. Both those centers have resources and are open to any and all evacuees. If you're evacuating from Tehama or Shasta counties, there are several centers open there. There's one at Bella Vista Elementary School, the Las Molinas Veterans Hall on Sherwood Boulevard, and today there will be a resource center open from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. at Red Bluff St. Peter's Episcopal Church. Cal OES has a helicopter that flies over wildfires to give infrared mapping and imaging. Now, we want to show you what that helicopter pilot saw as he flew over the Park Fire burning in the Mill Creek drainage in Tehama County around 6 o'clock last night. Watch this.
OES Intel 127-25-2024, 1841 hours, the Park incident. State responsibility and federal responsibility in the Butte unit. Mapped out at 124,951 acres. We're looking into the Mill Creek drainage. And if you go to IR, you can see across the drainage is making a run, and it's all the way up on the plateau. Go to Swear, you can see the bit of terrain that it's in. And go back to EO. You can see the burning conditions. End of recording.
Now, we know that since that was recorded around 6 last night, the fire has continued moving to the north-northwest in Tehama County. Right now, it is 7:42, and you're never more than 10 minutes away from a local weather update. Weather playing a big role in this firefight, Court.
Yeah, that's right, Kelly, and the conditions have improved over the last several hours, but last night those winds really did drive the fire to rapidly grow to the north in the northern zones. And what we're seeing overhead this morning, I want to take a look at the overall impacts that you're going to be feeling out there today. Here's a live look from the South Forks Lookout. This is just to the north of Whiskeytown in Shasta County, northwest of Redding, looking southeast over the northern end of the valley. And this is smoke that you're seeing covering our region early on today, and some of that is going to really impact air quality. Right now, we're in the 50s to 60s in the valley, 50s in the foothills, and we're mostly in the 50s in our mountain zones. Wind out of the southeast up to 14 miles an hour for Chico right now. Throughout the day today, we're looking at south winds picking up a little bit heading through noon. Towards the afternoon hours, 15 to 20 mile an hour gusts still expected. We'll be in that same range through late tonight, but then we do see a shift to north winds in the areas around the fire that are fairly light overnight into early tomorrow morning before the winds shift back to the southeast or south to northwest or north as we head through tomorrow as well. So it's going to be mostly the same direction for the winds, not too strong like we saw last night. Humidity recovering well overnight into this morning. It's mostly above 60% across the valley and in areas close to where the fire is burning right now. That's positive news. There's more moisture content in the air. We are seeing some clouds streaming north and some showers east of the fire this morning. We'd love it if some of those showers would extend further to the west. The problem there would be the chance for thunderstorms, though. So warm today, dry and breezy as we have low pressure that's driving this cooling trend across our region. As we move forward through the day today, I want to show you your hyperlocal futurecast. Sunshine for the most part as far as the clouds go, but the problem we're going to be facing is smoke is going to become more widespread, and that's going to become a bigger impact throughout the day in the valley. And tonight, that's still really bad. Tomorrow morning, even worse. So be prepared. Air quality taking a big hit. High temperatures, 80s to low 90s in the valley, 70s to 80s in the foothills and mountains today. And then temperatures slowly climbing through your extended forecast. Lows in the 60s, highs low to mid 90s in the valley through Tuesday. After that, it's upper 90s to triple digits returning Wednesday through the end of this next week. I'll continue to track the latest conditions around the Park Fire throughout this morning.
Okay, thanks, Cord. And we're continuing our live coverage of the Park Fire as Action News Now reporter Camille Acevedo is live in Tehama County with more updates on your Saturday morning.
Going solar? Partner with a local company who is able to provide you with the best solar pricing.
From sales to post-installation training, the employees easily set this company apart.
Saving energy for life.com.
Hot Tub. Major manufacturers and warehouses clearance of new 2024 inventory today and tomorrow. Silver Dollar Fairgrounds Chico. Over 100 hot tubs on display and everything must go. New 2024 inventory. Hot tubs starting at $29.95. All inventory 40 to 80% off. Come see the revolutionary swim spa in action and save up to 60%. Trade-ins welcome. Free delivery. We'll even haul away your old hot tub. Worry-free installation. 18-month interest-free financing. Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold. Silver Dollar Fairgrounds Chico. Free admission. Free parking. Call 833-SPA-SALE.
My dearest Finn, dear Kyrell,
Demi,
I'm writing this to you to read one day.
It feels like forever ago that our lives were changed when you were diagnosed with cancer.
I know this has allowed you to see how hard life can be, but always realize it's full of opportunities to make someone's day better.
During the most vulnerable days of your life, strangers and communities came together to support you on your journey.
There's been so much kindness surrounding you. The surgeon who cared for your heart as if it were his own. Starlight who made you smile even on your toughest days.
Never forget those who loved you so well and know that you have the responsibility to give back.
Never doubt that you can make a difference in this world.
I love you, sweet boy.
Love, Mom.
Love, Dad.
At Alternative Energy Systems, our solar experts are standing by and ready to help you start saving today.
We were very happy with the level of communication, information, and professionalism of AES.
Saving energy for life.com.
Hi, Chico. I'm Haley Watts, and you're watching Action News Now coverage you can count on.
Hi, I'm EJ Williams. Each year, millions of animals are abandoned, and more than 1 million are euthanized before they can be rescued. Organizations like American Humane are working to harness the healing power of the human-animal bond, as animals can be trained as life-saving service and therapy dogs to help veterans, the elderly, and children with special needs to overcome the obstacles of everyday life. To find out how you can help give animals and the people they help a new leash on life, please visit AmericanHumane.org.
The Park Fire is rapidly spreading and has forced evacuation orders and warnings in Butte, Tehama, and Shasta counties, including parts of Paradise. Reporter Marciela De La Cruz talked to people in Paradise who are watching and evacuating.
The thick smoke cloud.
It's just stressful. It's just stressful.
A traumatic sight for many Paradise residents as city officials issued evacuation warnings.
It was very impactful. Every once in a while when we smell smoke or see smoke like that, it does trigger us. It triggers the people here in Paradise. It's just part of the, when you go through trauma, that's what happens.
Lori Schwain lost a home in the 2018 Camp Fire. And while she was not living in Paradise, she isn't used to warnings so close to home.
I'm getting evacuation alerts and, you know, be ready. And so I'm packed up, my dog, my cat. So all I can do is wait and watch and hopefully get alerts. So
yesterday, Paradise officials decided to issue a warning for people living in areas 1, 4, and 9.
One of the things we learned from the campfire is you cannot over-communicate about this enough.
Mayor Ron Lassonde says that while the flames are not close to town, many residents are on edge.
Hard to talk about. Sometimes it gets you kind of emotionally. Yes, there's a fire back there. Yes, people's houses are being destroyed. Yes, we've got over 1,000 firemen out there, firemen, firewomen, firefighters out there risking their lives to keep us safe.
While Paradise residents wait for the next update, some are finding shelter in the town.
Yeah, I'm a widow with 2 teens, and I'm trying to make ends meet as it is, and this is just not helping.
Rachel Vaughn lives near Forest Ranch and had to evacuate last night.
It's been stressful. I mean, I had to leave some animals behind, turn them loose, and my horse, and not having the funds or the means to even provide for my family outside of my home has been difficult.
Paradise is home right now to nearly 11,000 people. We'll be right back with more of our Park Fire breaking news coverage.
Dr. Brandon Stark has been part of the Chico community for over 20 years, understanding that our area has been hurting from a lack of quality health care. With many providers being stretched too thin to accept new patients, the Stark Medical Practice team were drawn back to help.
Every community deserves access to quality and compassionate health care.
We saw there was a missing piece and we knew we could help.
Telehealth medicine and in-person visits fit the puzzle perfectly. Call Stark Medical Practice today to schedule your next appointment.
Best of Chico is back. We cannot thank you all enough for voting for us to get this far. Game Time Sports Bar and Grill is up for Best Sports Bar and Best Appetizers. Sapphire Steakhouse is up for Best Local Restaurant in Oroville and Best Fine Dining. Spirits Whiskey Bar and Lounge is up for Best Margarita. And Gold Country Casino Resort is up for Best Casino. So, be sure to vote for
Gold Country Casino Resort.
When you need to relax and recharge your body and mind, retreat to the comfort of stressless furniture at Fines Design and Decor. Designed to harmonize with the natural movements of your body, it's where true comfort begins and every day should end. Get a $100 instant rebate for every $1,000 spent and $200 off 4 dining chairs at Fines Design and Decor, 1341 Mangrove between 3rd and 5th Avenues in Chico.
The Paradise Performing Arts Center presents Tommy Castro and the Painkillers, Tuesday, August 27th at 8 p.m. Proceeds will benefit the Paradise Performing Arts Center and the Paradise Boys and Girls Club Back to School program. Get your tickets at these locations or scan the code. Sponsored by Action News Now.
Download Action News Now on your mobile device. Breaking news, top local stories, live storm tracker radar, and streaming newscasts. Brought to you by Evans Furniture.
Bennett, you're watching Action News Now, coverage you can count on.
This update from CAL FIRE. The objectives today are to keep the fire north of the Skyway, east of Highway 99, south of Highway 44, and west of Skyway to Humbug Bug Summit. The people who live in those areas, you know those landmarks. Court's in the Weather Center with an update on how the weather is impacting the firefight.
Yeah, that's right, Kelly. And I want to show you the conditions around the Park Fire right now. Humidity recovering much better overnight into this morning. It's over 65% for both Red Bluff and Chico, 42% east of the fire in Chester, 51% northwest of the fire in Redding. And the flow for the winds out of the southeast or south to north or northwest, 14 miles an hour for Chico, lighter in Tehama County, around 5 miles an hour, and then a little stronger for Shasta County. But the fire has not made it into Shasta County yet. I'll be tracking the latest on the fire perimeter growth and hotspot data this morning, coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, yeah, and as we start to wrap up the show, this special newscast on a Saturday morning, we'll be right back with fire weather forecast.
Save thousands on the new Revolutionary Swim Spa at a one-time sale. Today and tomorrow. Silver Dollar Fairgrounds Chico. Exercise with low impact. Swim the entire year and stay in shape. Teach your kids to swim. Unwind and save thousands. Avoid the expense and maintenance involved with a pool. Swim, exercise, and relax in your new aquatic exercise swim spa. Installation in 1 day only. New 2024 inventory. 18-month interest-free financing. Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold. Silver Dollar Fairgrounds Chico. Free admission. Free parking. Call 833-SPA-SALE.
Experience the world through a clear lens with Eyes of Chico. For a limited time, indulge in a dazzling 50% off all sunglasses. Elevate your eyewear game with on-point prescription polarized sunglasses featuring the latest frames. Don't miss out on our brand new polarized transition lenses as well. Plus, we provide convenient on-site eye exams to ensure your prescription is always current. Have a favorite old pair of frames? Bring them in and we'll expertly fit them with the right lenses. Discover Chico through a finer lens at the Eyes of Chico Sunglass Sale, happening right now.
You feel it. The unspoken trust and acceptance of knowing you belong. With roots that run deep, our history and your future are intertwined, growing and evolving. Introducing Enlo Health, a new look for a lifetime commitment. Enlo is about more than just medicine. It's about compassionate care, innovation, and you. Enlo Health. You belong.
Your greatest achievement is your family. You worked long and hard to grow your dreams for the ones you love. But this couple wanted more, and that's peace of mind, knowing their wishes will be honored should the unexpected happen. Caring wills and trusts from the law offices of Lawrence Puritz keeps your legacy with your family and out of the court. Customize your will and trust now to protect your loved ones tomorrow. Call now for a free consultation. Caring wills and trusts. Take care of your family's future today.
Welcome to our breaking news coverage. Court has a look at the latest fire hotspots on the Park Fire.
Yeah, that's right, Kelly. Just a couple moments ago, I shared the current conditions. Winds breezy out of the southeast or south to north, and humidity recovering better overnight into this morning. Fire in the first 12 hours, 45,000 plus acres. The first 36 hours, 164,000 plus acres. And now the latest, 307,369 acres. And you can see the latest activity has mostly been in the northern perimeter of the fire, and I'm going to go ahead and animate just the last 12 hours. This is where all of the activity has been over the last 12 hours, as indicated by hotspots detected by satellites. Today, the main influence is going to be in those northern zones because of the south winds persisting across our region, and we'll continue to keep you up to date on the latest conditions on the Park Fire right here on Action News Now.
Yeah, and we're not done with our special coverage. We're here for you throughout the weekend. We're going to continue to update you on the Park Fire today at the top of each hour throughout the day and the night. And then Court and I will be back for a special Sunday morning edition of Action News Now. That's tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We're here for you with breaking news coverage of the Park Fire. Stay with Action News Now for life-saving information.